What's up guys, I'm Ninjijitsu, and today I have something extremely special that I know you all will want to hear. But before I get into anything specific, I want to go ahead and thank GameStop and GameRanks for providing me with the information that I utilized to make this video, because it is neither owned nor created by me. Now the information that I have for you is both detailed and confirmed to be factual in regards to the innovative created class system for Black Ops 2. But if you're highly anticipating the game like I am, then you're probably anxious to hear the meat of what's been revealed. So for the sake of your enjoyment, I'll limit this video to the discussion of the brand new perks. Now in Call of Duty's most recent past, as far as the created class is concerned, though you could choose the equipment that you used in games, you were limited to the types of equipment that those would be. You had to have a primary, you had to have a secondary, you had to have lethal and tactical equipment, you had to have 3 perks, and it didn't matter if you didn't use any of the stuff, you still had to have it. Not anymore. See, now they give you a vast number of slots with which you can use to equip different types of equipment. So for example, a box for a primary gun, 3 boxes beneath it for possible attachments, a box for a secondary gun, 2 boxes beneath it for possible attachments, 6 boxes for perks, etc, etc. Now before you get carried away, it is imperative to note that though you have all of these boxes, you only get awarded 10 points. 10 points per class. And you can choose to allocate those points to any of the boxes you so desire. That being said, if you want to have all 6 perks, you can do that. But there's a limit. See, off first hand, you would assume that because things cost 1 point, all 6 perks would then be 6 points in total. But that's not the case because having more than 3 perks bends the rules of the normal created class system. So in order to commit these bends and breakages of the rules, you have to have something called a wild card, which is a type of equipment that requires a point. Now there are different types of wild cards, but only 3 boxes which allow for the use of those wild cards, 1 point each. Now although you can get up to 6 perks, there's only 2 perks allowed from each tier. There are 3 tiers in total, like usual, and a wild card designated for each tier, specifically. So these 3 wildcards designed for extra perk usage are all entitled perk greed, quote unquote. So perk 1 greed, perk 2 greed, perk 3 greed. So if for example you'd like 2 perks from tier 1, you'd have to spend a point on your first perk from tier 1, a point on the perk 1 greed wildcard, and then another point for the actual second perk from tier 1. So in other words, on this basis, if you wanted 6 perks, it will cost 9 points. Only leaving you with 1 left. Now if 6 perks are completely worth 9 of your 10 points, that's up to you, because you can choose how many perks you want, and if or not you even want perks at all. But your decision must be well informed because the perks themselves are different than you probably recall. For starters, there are no pro perk effects, and there are no perks that affect the way your gun behaves. So just how they balanced out this list of perks, well, I'll let you be the judge of that. Tier 1, perk 1 is Flak Jacket, which makes you more invulnerable to explosions. So this is much like how it was in Black Ops 1, but I'm hoping this time around it allows for more explosive damage and vulnerability. The next perk is Ghost, and its ability is for invisibility from UAVs, but only while you're moving. So no more camping in corners with Ghost, but if people move around in the same spot with it, they might be able to accomplish the same feat. So I propose that Ghost emit a radius, much like a motion sensor, whenever an enemy UAV is called. So then they know exactly how much they need to move in order to remain invisible. Blind Eye allows you to be undetected by enemy kill streaks, but only when they're computer controlled. So for example, in Black Ops 1, it would keep you undetected by an attack helicopter. Now in this game, there are no point streaks or kill streaks, just one group of rewards entitled score streaks. So although it works in the same fashion as point streaks, it's a little more varied. And Hardline allows for the achievement of bonus points for your score streak. Now lightweight's last in the tier and it's pretty simple, run faster, no fall damage. Tier 2 starts out with Hardwired, and with it you're unaffected by counter UAVs and EMPs. So it incorporates one of Assassin's pro effects from Modern Warfare 3. Now Scavenger's back, but like that of Black Ops, where you can replenish ammo and grenades. Because in Modern Warfare 2, you could replenish equipment and noob tubes, which was way overpowered, and in Modern Warfare 3, you could only replenish weapon ammunition, which was underpowered, if such a word even exists. Cold-Blooded is the third perk from the tier, and it allows for resistance from targeting systems and mechanisms, i.e. the motion sensor, or the scope that allows you to see through walls from the multiplayer trailer, or that of the scope that allows for targets to be identified in front of you, highlighted in red. And it also allows you to remain undetected by score streak rewards that are controlled by the actual enemy players themselves. So examples from Black Ops 1 would be the Chopper Gunner or the Gunship kill streaks. Toughness is like Hardened Pro, where you flinch markedly less when you are shot. And I say markedly because it must be drastically effective if this is its sole ability. Now the final perk from tier 2 is Fast Hands, and before you get carried away, let me once again put you back into perspective and remind you that there are no perks that affect your actual gun. Instead, unlike Sleight of Hand, which you probably assumed that it was, it merely permits you to swap weapons faster, use and deploy equipment like motions, bouncing betties, claymores, grenades, and safely toss back frag grenades. So you can begin to realize that the reason why there are no more pro effects is because they sort of spread out these effects into different and newer perks. So in this case, it's kind of like a mixture of Scout Pro from Black Ops 1 and sort of like Flak Jacket Pro as well. Now tier 3 is by far my favorite bracket of all because it possesses a couple of the perks that I personally know and love. It starts off with a perk called Engineer, which is reminiscent of a sitrep or a hacker. And it also branches off into Stalker Pro, so it's got like this interesting twist. See, with it, you can visualize enemy equipment through the map as usual, as it's highlighted in red. You can also delay the triggering of such explosives like claymores or bouncing betties, and re-roll care packages of yours and your enemies and booby trap it if it's theirs that you steal. Next up's Dead Silence, my absolute favorite, but looks like they simplified it and it only allows you to move silently now. But fortunately, unlike Modern Warfare 3 where your footsteps are low but still audible, it's completely silent now. Once again, I should say. Extreme Conditioning is rather simple as well, and it allows for sprinting over a longer duration of time. So there's no hint to an unlimited sprint, but more like double the usual distance. Tactical Mask allows for the reduction of the effects of flash and stun grenades on your player, but also of the new shock charges. I just wish it allowed visibility through smoke grenades. Now it's a sadness that they divided Ninja and Ninja Pro into two different perks, but I guess that's fair, because they divided Assassin into 4 different perks. So Awareness is like the pro effect of the old Ninja, which allows for you to hear enemies louder. Now the last perk is Dexterity, and it's rather new but also rather old. It allows you to climb obstacles faster, recover faster from melee, and also aim faster after sprinting. So one might ask why the pro effect of Steady Aim happens to be in the game when the entirety of Sleight of Hand is absent. So much like the effects and pro effects of perks have been redistributed to other, different, and newer perks, so have they been redistributed to equipment and attachments as well. So in this case, Sleight of Hand is now broken up into 2 new weapon attachments, one entitled Quick Draw and the other entitled Fast Mag. So I imagine their effects would respectively be the ability to aim faster without having to sprint, and the ability to reload faster, which together encompasses all of what Sleight of Hand used to be. So though you're unable to reload faster or aim faster with every single gun like you were at liberty to in Black Ops 1, due to the fact that it was once a perk and is now a pair of attachments, this, like with the redistribution of all of the other perks, seems to really balance the game. And this is also seen with the once pro effect of the Engineer perk's predecessor, Hacker, which used to allow you to hack enemy equipment. Never fear, for although it is not a direct effect of Engineer, it has now been transformed into a tactical device, and it has been officially named the Black Hat PDA. Now this is the end of the perks, but before the video ends, I would love to shed some light on the new score streak system, wherein the rewards are much like that of point streaks and can be obtained by the achieving of the points required of it. But the major difference lies in the way you can earn those points now, and also how many points are allocated to doing those certain actions. Now, I don't know if they automatically reset or are required to reset after your death, but I know that the kills that you get with these rewards count as points toward your next streak reward, and there are some really badass streaks. Anyways guys, take heed of all this information now ahead of time while you can. I'm Ninjijitsu,